Papercrafters Library. In this video, I'm going to show you how to create this Sunshine Makes Me Happy card, featuring supplies from the Echo Park Springtime Collection. Then at the end of this video, I'm going to tell you how you can enter to win the Springtime Collection prize pack. So let's get started. So you're going to need a 5 1/4 by 10 1/2 inch piece of Lemon Tart cardstock from Paper Tray, and I've gone ahead and I've scored this down the center at 5 1/4 in order to fold this in half and crease along my score line to create a 5 1/4 by 5 1/4 inch card base. So just make sure you have a nice crisp fold line on the top there. Once you have that, you're going to set this aside. And you're now going to need a piece of white cardstock that measures 4 7/8 by 4 7/8. And you're going to need 2 pieces of designer paper. And here I'm using the Fresh Flowers pattern, which is this pink pattern, and this piece measures 2 1/2 by 4 1/4 or 4 3/4. And then I'm using the Delightful Stripes, which is this yellow patterned paper. And this piece measures 3 inches by 4 3/4 inches. You're going to need a tape runner or double-sided adhesive in order to stick this down. So I'm just going to apply adhesive to the back of my yellow, my larger piece of designer paper first. And I'm going to stick this to the bottom of my white cardstock. And I'm just leaving equal borders on the left, right, and bottom of my designer paper. Once you have that stuck down, you're then going to apply adhesive to the back of your remaining piece of designer paper and stick it to the top, leaving the same borders as you did with the previous piece. So I'm aligning the side pieces and leaving the same border across the top. They will slightly overlap in the center. That's exactly what you want to happen. So once you have this, you're going to need this completed, you can set that aside for a moment, and you're going to need some element stickers. I'm going to start with my Sunshine, and I'm just going to lay it like this, but I'm going to stick it down using some double-sided some Stampin' Dimensionals. So apply dimensionals to the back of your Sunshine. Peel off the backing, and you're going to stick that down in the left-hand corner, like so. So you can see it pops off my designer paper. Next, you're going to need this flag style sticker, and I'm just going to pull that off, and I'm just going to first flip it over and apply some dimensionals to the back of this, 1 in each of my flag pieces. You will be trimming a little bit of this off. You may use a full pennant style piece, but I'm just going to stick my adhesive there just in case, so that I'm prepared. So just place a dimensional along the back, and before you peel those backings off, you're going to need a 7-inch piece of pink sorbet baker's twine, and this is from the Twinery. So I'm going to lay this on here without peeling off my backing, and I'm seeing that I need to trim this. So before I stick that down, I'm just going to take my paper snips, holding that in place so that it's aligned on the one side. I can see here that I can center this. So if you can evenly center your flags, I want you to then take your paper snips and trim off in line with the edges of your cardstock. So then you can discard these side pieces, and you're going to take your pink sorbet baker's twine. You're just going to lay that across the top. You could stick this down with a small bead of Tombow adhesive if you wish. I'm just going to apply a thin bead across the top just to hold it in a few areas here. So once you have your Tombow across the top, you can lay this down right along the top edge of the flags here, and you're just going to give it a moment to stick down and for that adhesive to dry. Once it's dry, you're going to wrap the ends of your baker's twine around to the back and stick them down to the back of your flags here. If they're a little too long, you can always trim them off. So like I said, just allow this Tombow a few moments to dry. So now that your Tombow adhesive has had a chance to dry, you're going to flip this over and you're just going to wrap the ends around to the back and stick them down to the adhesive of the actual sticker, so the back of the flags. And like I said, if they're a little too long, you could always trim those off. So now that you have your baker's twine around the top of your flags, you're going to remove the backing from your dimensionals, and then you're going to stick this down over top of the layered designer paper, so this seam here. So again, I'm just aligning my edges with the side of my flags that I've already trimmed off. If you notice that they're a little bit still too long, you can come back in with your snips and just trim that up so it's nice and straight. So now that you have that complete, you're going to take a 10-inch piece of the same baker's twine and you're just going to tie this into a knot, or a bow, sorry. Once you have it tied into a bow, you want to make sure that you play with it slightly to make sure that it is on scale with your project. And once it's the appropriate size, you're just going to trim off those tail ends. And then you're just going to stick that down with a small dot of Tombow towards the left-hand side of your flags here, or of your matted cardstock. So now that we have this part assembled, you are going to need a piece of Raspberry Fizz cardstock that measures 5 by 5 inches. And you're just going to center and stick your matted designer paper to the Raspberry Fizz, leaving equal borders on all 4 sides. So once you have that complete, you can bring back your card base and you're going to stick your matted designer paper to the card base using some Stampin' Dimensionals. So I'm just going to place a Stampin' Dimensional in each corner of my matted designer paper, peel off the backing, and then center and stick that to my card base. And I would like it to be a standing card, so I'm going to make sure that my, or like a tent type of standing card, I'm going to make sure that my fold or crease line is along the top. And I'm just going to center and stick this to my card base, just like so. So now we're ready to add our greeting. And you're going to need your greeting. It's found on your element stickers, and it's this Sunshine Makes Me Happy. So I'm just going to remove that from the sticker sheet. I'm going to place some dimensionals on the back of the sticker greeting. Once you have those in place, you can peel off the backing of those. And as you can see, this is quite dimensional card. It just helps to create that pop to the card. So I'm just going to stick my greeting to the seam of my designer paper again, so it's going to slightly overlap the top of my baker's twine. It's slightly overlapping my sun image, and it adds a great greeting. My adhesive wasn't quite dry there. Let's just hold that into place. My last step is to embellish using some clear rhinestones, and I'm going to place a medium-sized rhinestone in the center of each of my flags. So I'm using Stampin' Up's basic rhinestones, and I always like to work with tweezers. You could use your fingers if you wish. So I'm just going to place a rhinestone towards the center or you could pull it a little further down each of the flags. And you want to just place one on each of the flags in the same line as the previous one. So you just want to make sure that they're in the same location on each of the flags. And once you have these all in place, your card is now complete. It's a simple but yet beautiful card that anyone would love to receive. And as it says, sunshine does make me happy. It makes most people happy. I hope you enjoyed stamping with me. So let's take a look at this week's Freebie Friday prize pack. As part of the Springtime Collection Pack, you will receive 2 of each of the double-sided 12 by 12 inch patterned papers. As well, we have included the coordinating element sticker sheet. So all you have to do to enter to win this collection pack is to visit the Papercrafters Library blog. If you're watching this video from somewhere other than our blog, you will find a direct link to this post in the video description section. While you're there, I invite you to check out our video library by clicking on the video library link at the top of our blog. Whether you're a beginner looking to learn the basics or an advanced papercrafter looking to learn new skills and techniques, you'll find it all here. Stamping, card making, scrapbooking, and altered art. We cover it all. With over 700 videos currently in our library and new videos added almost daily, we are the largest and most comprehensive online library of video tutorials for papercrafters on the internet. We invite you to visit our library and see what we're all about. The winner for this week's giveaway will be announced on our blog on Friday, May 4th. See you on the blog!